They said you have to shoot portraits on 85, but it's claustrophobic. So you get a 50, but it's still too much. And then you get a 28, and that works great for a while, but soon you want more. Not that much more, bring it back in a little bit. Let's talk about fisheye. Fisheye lenses are cool. They're a super unique perspective to have in your arsenal, and they're trendy at the moment. But they can be a little bit fiddly to get the hang of. Can I take some pictures of you? Can I take some pictures of you? I got a fisheye. Yeah? So fisheye lenses are actually kind of crazy in the way that they work. See how the front glass element is like bulging outwards? It's kind of curved, like spherical, like a fish's. But did you know it actually sees like a fish does as well? There's something called Snell's window in physics, which that's about as far as my physics knowledge goes, actually.
I'm just gonna try and compose with my brain and see what I find out.
So there are actually two kinds of fisheye lenses. There's circular fisheyes, which look like this, and then there's full frame fisheyes, which are what I have. Sorry. I tend to prefer full frame fisheyes because you can use the whole frame and you don't have to deal with the black circle and whether or not you want to crop it and how you like that look. Really simply, this is just an RFWL. One benefit to a full frame fisheye opposed to a circular one is this. It's sort of two lenses in one. You'd be shocked at how well Photoshop or Lightroom can correct for the spherical distortion and just turn it into a normal 16mm wide lens. If Adobe has a chokehold on your bank account, go ahead and click the like button. It's fully no scope there. I think it's important to ask the question, are fisheye lenses just a trend that are going to go away? No. All right, this guy's got a cool helmet, so I've got him. Here's what you need to know about actually taking photos with this thing. The first major thing to think about is composition. You should really take time to move your eyeball all around the corners of the viewfinder and try to get the photo composed as exactly as you want it as possible in camera. Because when you crop fisheye images, because the spherical distortion goes all the way out to the corners and it warps things, if you crop them, they just kind of look off. And also because the distortion gets stronger the closer you get towards the edge of the frame, stuff placed on the edges of the frame tends to look super wonky. So try to keep your edges and corners clean, and if in doubt, just put your subject front and center in the middle. The thing about 16 is it's actually like almost too wide for street because you have to get so close you're in the person's nose hole. He turned away. He looked really cool, but oh well. I think they have a bigger budget than me. Slightly brighter than a Lume Cube, that. Also, when you first use one of these things, it's gonna freak you out how close you have to get. Like, a lot of the time when I'm doing portraits with one, I will warn the subject that it's a fisheye and I'm gonna get really close, and then I'll still accidentally hit them in the nose with the lens. So, in terms of street photography, you have to kind of get creative with your comps because you can't really get close enough. Another great tip is that you should sign up to my email list. I won't spam you. I'm just going to send cool tips, photos I've taken, share other people's work, And also you can email me back, like we can chat, which is like the whole idea. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. I want to see the pictures that you've taken on Fisheye. Now, shooting this wide, there are some things that you do have to remember. I used to shoot in a much less deliberate manner, a little bit more slapdash, wintergreen style, you know, crooked horizons, but recently I've been leaning more towards the unit, very carefully thought out compositions with more layers and more sort of, you know, following the aesthetic rules a little bit more than I usually would, purely just to change things up and give myself a challenge. And especially when you're shooting with a focal length that you're not comfortable with, well, not as comfortable with as I am with 28. It ends up, you know, it increases your hit rate a little bit. However, it becomes tricky when you've got such a wide lens that you kind of can't compose. There's very limited options for where you can point it and how far away you can be. Keep in mind that fisheye lenses are basically bokeh proof, right? Because as the focal length decreases, like as the lens gets wider, the amount of stuff in focus at a given aperture increases. So for example, if you have a 50mm lens at f2.8, if you focus at 10 feet away, you get 2 feet of stuff that's in focus, like in the depth plane, right? But with a fisheye, it's everything. Like everything is in focus, even at f2.8. Now, this has a few implications. First of all, you can't use bokeh to isolate your subject, so you have to get creative and use other stuff like light or shadow or color. Sorry for not cutting, editor Hunter, I'm sorry. Or just by getting really bloody close. But this means that you can really utilize like foreground, background, midground, layer cake style composition, which can be really fun. And even if you've got none of that, the simple truth is just that fisheye images look really cool. Subscribe for more. Let me know what other focal lengths you would like me to cover. And as always, stay hydrated, create art.